don't care about getting broken bones. Oh, well, okay, I'm invisible then, apparently. Well done, darling. Superb driving at its finest. Hello, hello, hello. How are we all doing today? Hope you're all doing well. I hope you're all riding safe. I don't want to hear that any of you have come off your motorcycle and injured yourself, because that is just very shit news indeed. I thought in today's video we'll go ahead and talk a little bit about injuries, because motorcycle injuries are actually worse than you think. Not wearing motorcycle gear is more dangerous than you think. Very dangerous indeed. And we will go over why throughout the video. So, I was going down a road, and you'll see what road I'm on about, because we're going to go that way today. I was going down this road at a pub, garden centre, couple of houses. There was minimal street lamps, so lighting wasn't very good, and it was pitch black. If you don't know, I do get up rather quite early. And if you didn't see that motor vlog I did, like first thing in the morning kind of thing, about what, 3:40, I started doing the video at. You know it can be quite dark if you've seen that, because the video quality is rather shit. But you know, you see how dark it is on camera. So this road was pitch black. Going down it, you know, it's a 20 road. I'm going about 20, 25 miles per hour, just to be honest with you. And out from a side road, a little mudjack a little deer decided to run out of that side road, and he's running along, went straight into the front wheel, and he sort of ran under the bike, if that makes sense. So he's running to me on the right hand side, and I've fallen down on the right hand side. He just wiped the bottom out practically, you know. Little thing like that is very powerful. I've found out little deers like that, little muntjacks, are quite powerful little creatures for what they are. So after he's knocked me off, I've sort of got up, gone, oh for fuck's sake, not again, because it's my second accident, by the way. If you haven't watched them old videos of mine where I explain my accidents, I've only had 3, but I've got up, looked around, and he's gone. The cheeky bastard didn't even stop to see if I was right. He just got up and had it off and away on his hoofs. Couldn't even be bothered to see if I was right. But all jokes aside, I hope that deer is okay, you know what I mean? He didn't have internal injuries or anything like after that. Hopefully he survived and lived a healthy long life, even though it caused me quite a painful injury. So there's me, got up, got the bike up, and I had to ride with the handlebars slightly bent to the right, because he's completely and utterly bollocksed. The line up of the handlebar and the front wheel is bollocksed. It was only a 125. I was only on my Zentornus Mantis. If this is your first video or whatever, or finding out my first bike, that was my first bike. And I thought, oh, I'm only in a little bit of pain. But what I didn't realise, and thinking back on it, the first thing that hit the floor was my right knee. Like, I didn't even have time. It happened so quick that I didn't have time to take my hands off the handlebar. I was on the floor, practically still holding on to the handlebars. So the first thing that hit the floor was my right knee, crushed between the floor and the bike. And I'll tell you, that was quite painful, and I'll explain why. So I got up and thought, yeah, you know, I'll be alright. Bear in mind I'm on the way to work, so I managed to get myself to work on a crooked bike. Got to work, I explained, look, I've just had an accident, bear with me, kind of thing. But I decided to do a whole full shift on my leg, on my knee. A whole 8 hours of work. In the morning it was fine, I got over that quite easily. But as soon as I sat down and my adrenaline wore off, close that, and my adrenaline wore off, that's when it set in. My legs started to seize up. I couldn't bend it without it being in pain. Bearing in mind I'm getting in and out of a van, so it was, you know, it started to get really painful bending my knee. And by the end of the day, my brother, if you've seen it in the last video, that guy, he had to help me get into a fucking taxi because I was in no state to ride home, you know. So I had to sort of force myself into this taxi and then get home. When I got home, yeah, good parking, mate. And when I got home, bear with me, there's lots of things people can creep out on me on, so I've got to be careful. Got to be careful. So I got home and I practically dragged myself and crawled to my front door and let myself in. I was in absolute agony. I was in absolute aggro, honestly. And you're probably explaining, why are you over-exaggerating for and all this, that and the other? I wasn't over-exaggerating, it was literally aggro. But I got home and I looked at my knee, it started to really swell up and going funny colours and stuff. I thought, I probably have broke my knee, I can't move it. And I thought, well, I've been working on it the whole day. I know, you know, the adrenaline can, you know, adrenaline is really powerful and all this sort of stuff. But I thought, I've been walking on it, you know what I mean? Been walking on it. Probably made it a lot worse, but you know. But in the end, I got myself to A&E and I sat down there for a solid 5 hours, going in this room, going out that room, on one crutch, because that's the crutch I used to when I had an accident as a child, I still had that crutch, so I was using that crutch. I only managed to get the one out from under the bed. So I'm hopping in and out of all these rooms with one crutch. It's like, yeah, just fucking take 2 crutches. Fuck's sake. Fuck's sake, Wolfey. And by the end of it, I found out the results. Basically, I had a severely swollen knee and a severely bruised knee. And bear in mind, I was wearing my riding trousers, which I am riding with now. I'm wearing my riding trousers. If you've seen the last videos, I didn't bother with that. But now when I was researching injuries and stuff, it made me rethink my life and think about how much pain and aggro I was in when I came off with my padded jeans. Now imagine if I didn't have my padded jeans, I would have probably shattered my kneecap. I would have. So thinking back on that, nah, I'm good, mate. I'm wearing my gear. I am wearing my gear. Again, it didn't stop me getting hurt, but it saved me a worse off injury. Imagine being told that you can't ride for a year, or you permanently damaged your knee and now you can never ride ever again or whatever, because you decided you didn't want to wear gear. No thank you. I mean, it took me a week to heal. Not long compared to someone mentioned in Discord when I asked the question, what is the worst injuries any of you have suffered? And you know what he replied with? And I thought, my injuries, nothing. Severely swollen, severely bruised, nothing, mate, nothing. He practically did shatter his kneecap. His kneecap was pushed into his knee and he severed a major artery. That is serious. That's what could have happened to me, because he wasn't wearing any gear. I'm not going to say it was, because I'm not like that, but he wasn't wearing gear, and now he is. He's learned his lesson, and I want you to learn the same. Wear your fucking gear, please. He got very lucky, very lucky. But yeah, this is the road. That's the side road that the deer ran out of. I was coming this way and he just ran out, going to that field on the right hand side. And as you can see, there's minimal street lamps down here, but there's a few, but this road's pretty much pitch black at, you know, 4 o'clock in the morning, half 3 o'clock in the morning. As you can see, minimal street lamps. But yeah, if you've watched any of my other gear videos on like what I recommend you wear and what I recommend you don't wear, it's not a recommendation, just don't wear that shit. You're risking a hell of a lot more than you actually know. If you was to come off, you're going to be an absolute aggro. But yeah, we're going to do the same sort of format. Start with the head, end with the feet. So in all these states in America where you're not supposed to, you know, you're not required to wear a helmet to ride a bike. Here in England you do. In Britain it's law that you have to wear a helmet. I don't see why it's not law to wear all the other bits of gear. I don't know, because it's just as dangerous. You come off without that helmet, even 15 miles per hour, and you hit that floor, you could die. Like, you could fracture your skull and have fragments of your skull embedded in your brain. You can like break your neck. You could have traumatic brain injury. Like, traumatic brain injury can be with a helmet on, let alone without a helmet on. You can deglove your face. If you want to know, I'm not going to put any pictures up of what any of these injuries are. So we're going to be talking about pretty graphic injuries. So I'm relying on you to get the video somewhere so the algorithm pushes this video out, because this is going to be a serious video, and try and teach people this is what happens when you don't wear gear. So if you could help push this video out, that would be really good, because being the graphic content that's going to be, obviously I'm not going to show pictures because I'll have the video taken down, which seems silly. I mean, you know, age rating fair enough, but taken down, you know, come on. So yeah, degloved face, if you really want to know what that looks like, go and have a look yourself. Go into Google after this video and type that in. I am putting that picture up here. Again, if you're not wearing a proper helmet, you can sever your whole bottom jaw off your skull. You can lose your bottom jaw. It's just, mate, some of these things are a state. When I was doing the research for this video and I had to go through all the injuries and look them up and see pictures and look at accident reports, mate, nah, you don't want this. You don't want any of this. I know you don't want any of this. No one does. You'd be fucking insane if you would want these injuries. And it depends on how severely your face is ripped apart. I mean, your whole face has been shifted, and you lost your cheeks and all this horrible stuff. You might have to go in severe surgery. You might have to get skin grafts, this, that, and the other. And skin grafts leave a nasty scar. Like you would know for the rest of your life that you've had that accident, and it's life-changing. It is life-changing injury, that, especially traumatic brain injury. Imagine not remembering who your friends are, who your family is, who you are. It's horrible. It's horrible stuff. Traumatic brain injury, to give you it's basically bruising on the brain, severe bruising on the brain, and it can do physical and mental damage to you, because obviously your brain is just loosely in your skull kind of thing, and if you like headbang, you know, like us metalers headbang, you're smashing your brain into the sides of your skull kind of thing. Now imagine doing that at like 40-50 miles per hour, and this is with a helmet on. Like, you can get a traumatic brain injury wearing a helmet. It's just there to try and prevent that. Again, wearing gear doesn't prevent your death, but it's there to mitigate as much damage done to you as possible. So if you had a slow crash, you could probably save yourself your life, you know, save yourself, you know, traumatic brain injury by wearing a helmet. But if you're going 70 miles per hour and you come off, you know, like, be smart about it, you know what I mean? Be smart about what you're doing when you're riding. You have to rely on your skills to prevent the accident, but if you can't 100% avoid the accident, or it's too late to prevent the accident, that's what your gear is there for. It's not going to prevent it fully. As you can tell in my story, I had a severely swollen knee and bruised knee. That was wearing pads. Again, I would have probably shattered my kneecap, made it a hell of a lot worse if I wasn't wearing gear. So yeah, your torso. What can happen with your torso? Well, one of the most common injuries in a motorcycle accident is broken ribs. And if you didn't know, newsflash, your lungs are behind your ribs, and with that force going into the front of you, it's pushing your broken ribs into your lungs, which means internal bleeding, you know, coughing up blood, and you have to go into actual surgery to get the ribs removed from your lungs. Like, okay, when I was researching injuries and that, me and my mate was having a bit of a browse with these injuries, because I was telling him about the video I wanted to make, and he was like, yeah, let's have a look. And he brought up a picture. Well, I don't even know if the guy was alive, to be honest, but he had trauma to his stomach. To put it as nice as possible, so it's not as graphic as possible, but his insides were outside, because he was just wearing a raincoat, it looked like. What was left of it, that is. You know, wear a proper motorcycle jacket, please, and don't skip out on back armour, because with back armour that can prevent spinal injury. And if you damage your spine, you can be paralysed from the waist down. You can be paralysed for the rest of your life. You don't want that. No one wants that. Even if you don't cause any external trauma to your abdomen, you've got organs underneath in you. You've got your stomach, you know, your intestines, liver, kidneys, bladder, all these things in your abdomen. Your abdomen's quite soft. I mean, there's no bones there to prevent any internal damage to your organs. You could damage your organs and get internal bleeding. Again, you do not want this. Gravel, watch the gravel, gravel, watch the gravel, don't want to slide off, damage me bike. That's all I care about. I don't care about getting broken bones. Oh, well, okay, I'm invisible then, apparently. Well done, darling. Superb driving at its finest. Absolutely outstanding. I think that should get the Best Driver of the Year award, don't you? But yeah, moving on. So let's go to your arms and your hands and that area. Well, first of all, you can break your arm, can't you? If you're not wearing proper gear, you can shatter your elbow, shatter your shoulder blade, and you don't want the bone in your arm popping out the skin, because now you're risking infection, severing a major artery, severe bleeding. It's like these people that don't wear a motorcycle jacket and shitty gloves, right? When they come off, what is the first thing that you do? What is the most natural human instinct that anyone does when they fall over, or I come flying off of their bike? You put your hands out first, don't you, to prevent damage to your organs. It's to sort of sacrifice your hands to make it easier for your organs to survive that fall or whatever. So once your gloves are going to be ripped to shreds depending on what gloves you got, but now your wrists are exposed, and it will not take long. Like the skin on your wrist is so thin that it will be like 2 seconds of scraping and you've ripped your wrist open. 1 second more and you've probably severed a major artery. Like, wear a motorcycle jacket and wear proper gloves, please. I'm begging you, mate. Or depending how your bone is through your arm, you might have to get your arm amputated, or maybe during the motorcycle accident it'll amputate it itself. You might lose your whole arm during that motorcycle accident. These things have happened. Do your research, don't just take my word for it. Do your own research into motorcycle accidents. If you are riding a motorcycle, you need to know the risks, my friend. You need to know the risks of your lifestyle. So legs, again, broken bones. Imagine having your tibia and fibia poking out the skin, or you completely and utterly shattered your kneecap and now the bone has split the skin, and now again you're risking infection, severing a major artery. Remember that story I told you at the beginning of our matey in Discord server, how he severed a major artery because he's not wearing gear? This can happen. Like, it's just proof that this shit is serious. It is serious. You don't want this. I'm going back to hand quick. I forgot to mention one of the most vile graphic injuries that I've seen. Have you ever seen a degloved hand? Do you know what that is? Again, with the degloved face. Like, human bodies are soft, right? They're just soft tissue wrapped around bone. And now imagine just having that skin torn from the bone, and all that's left on your hand is bits of flesh and bone. Oh, mate. Just go and do your own research. I ain't putting any pictures up. It's just graphic shit that need to be said, because it's reality, it's fact, and it's true that if you do not wear your motorcycle gear or proper motorcycle gear, you are risking having a fucking severed hand, a degloved hand, and shattered knuckles that you can't use your hand for the rest of your life. Right, mate, just please be smart on wear your gear. Same with your foot. I saw the story of so they went to an accident scene, found the biker, and about 3 meters or whatever away from him, I can't remember the exact figures, but they found the shoe, and inside the shoe with it was his foot that was no longer attached to the body because he was wearing trainers. Like, it's vile. Motorcycling is a very dangerous hobby. Very dangerous hobby. So while you're out there having your fun and riding around, yeah, we're having fun, just remember that it's more dangerous than you actually think. And that's what prompted me to go, you know, bollocks, I'm wearing my motorcycle jeans now. I ain't dealing with that. I want to protect myself as much as possible. But yeah, you don't want a degloved foot or a degloved hand or anything. You're risking so much. You're risking infection, actually having to have your hand or your foot amputated. You don't want that. No one wants that. It's bollocks. No one wants it. So again, like the 200th time in the video, be smart and please wear your fucking gear, mate. Please. I mean, I had to do the research anyway to make the video, but I didn't like sitting there looking at all these injuries and stuff like that. But I want to give the information to you so then you know the risks. But yeah, I think that's all. If you want to come and share your experiences in the Discord server and, you know, help teach people on why you should wear gear and stuff like that, you're welcome in a Discord server. Anyone's welcome, like I mentioned in one of the last videos. Doesn't matter what you ride, you're all welcome. But yeah, I wanted to put that Discord together so you can bring us a lot closer together as a community, so you can, like, you know, share experiences, give each other tips on riding better, sharing useful information like this video. But yeah, that's my dream, or our dream community of bikers. Let's come together and help each other out. The link of the Discord server will be down in the description. Like I've mentioned before, I didn't like Discord, to be honest, didn't care too much about it, but I thought this would be the best way to build a community. But yeah, if you don't like it, you're not forced to stay or anything, so I don't think you are. But with that said, I hope you all have a good day, as the sun's starting to come out now. It's pissing down this morning. Yeah, you all take care of yourselves, carry on riding safe, wear your fucking gear, just wear it. You all keep your rubber side down, your shiny side up. That's the first priority before, you know, having to rely on your gear. Keep your head on a swivel to make sure no one's going to run you off the road and cause you an absolute aggro of a day. Absolute of an aggro day. So yeah, I'll see you in the next video. Look after yourselves. And ta-da!